Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Mark Love with Transwest Truck Trailer RV, and thanks for tuning in once again. I hope you all had a great Mother's Day. This morning I'm going to be talking about a 2024 Valencia. This is the 38BB. It's a bunkhouse model, and there's a lot of unique things about the chassis on the Valencia, so I want to make sure I cover those. For starters, this is built on the Freightliner. It's called the S2 RV Chassis. It's the only chassis that's made specifically for the RV industry, and it's powered by a 6.7 Cummins 360 horse engine. Let's go ahead and take a look at this right now. Like I say, it's 360 horsepower, 800 foot-pounds of torque, and it is the 6.7 liter. They also make a 360 horsepower and an 8.9 liter engine with more torque, but this one has 12,000 pounds of towing. You can see how easy it is to access all your fluids. Windshield wiper, coolant. If the tires turned a little bit, I can step right inside here, work on the engine myself very easily. And while we're right here, I'm going to talk about one of the things that's kind of unique about this chassis. If you get a look at this bumper, you can see it's bolted on right here. It's actually made as a breakaway. So if you were to hit, let's say, an elk as you're going down the road or have an accident, this will actually kind of cave in a little bit, and it's got a flange right here so your bumper doesn't dig into the tire. You may not lose the tire in a front end accident. It's one of the beauties of it. Also, as we're standing here, it's a good chance to see the leaf springs, the heavy duty leaf springs they have here, and then the shock on the inside. The front does not have an air ride suspension, the rear does. So to help compensate for that ride, they give you the air ride seat. So these are all on the 22.5 inch, which are the big tires. Let's move around to the other side here. It does have a 33,000 pound GVWR, and you've got about 7,500 pounds of cargo carrying capacity, which is quite a bit for a motorhome. You can see over here on the other side, we have access to our water separator here, power steering fluid, oil dipstick. Everything is easy to work on, so if you're the type of person that does your own maintenance, you'll appreciate the Super Cs. Another thing, they've got this bell crank mechanism here. Basically, they align this directly with the axle. This is a 13,000 pound axle. So when you hit a bump going down the road, your steering wheel isn't jumping all over. It stays right in line. And of all of the people I've talked to that have driven these Super Cs, although this is a smaller engine Super C, many of them describe it as the best driving Super C they've ever been in. And part of that is how they've engineered this chassis. Let's move on back a little bit more. Another thing that's kind of unique about the Valencia, first of all, they have these breakaway mirrors. So if it was to hit something, you can see it'll fold in, or maybe you've got a really tight space you're parking it in and you want to fold those in. But these are heavy duty. It'll support 200 pounds. And you see there is a CB antenna on the top. They don't come with the CB, but it is certainly something we can outfit it with. Okay, right here we do have a place where we can plug in to preheat our engine maybe on a cold winter morning. And your depth fill is right here. Now normally you'd expect to see a couple of fuel fills on this side, or one on this side, one on the other. All of your M2 chassis, all of your other Freightliners, they have to have those tanks up front. Because they designed this for the RV industry, they've moved the fuel tank to the back. I'll show you where that is later. But basically, it gives it a better center of gravity, better balance. They don't have to have two 50-gallon tanks that you have to fill from each side. You have 100-gallon tank in the middle behind the axle. And you can see how nice it is to step in. You've got a heavy-duty grab handle. And one of the other things I wanted to point out, I'd mentioned the air ride seat. That controls right here. You can see it kind of comes down or airs up. This helps compensate for not having airbags on the front end. It really helps smooth out the ride. Okay, let's move back. This first compartment's got our batteries. Now, lithium batteries are an option. This happens to have the 8D. That's what this one is. That's your house battery. These are your chassis batteries over here. The lithium ion, or the lithium batteries, they're quite expensive. I think it's a $5,400 option or something along that line. And although it's great technology, that doesn't mean the old technology is bad. These 8D batteries, they'll keep a charge a long time if you're out dry camping in the woods. And you do have the auto gen start feature. So this is kind of old school technology, you might call it, but it's tried and true, works every time. I don't have any problem with the old batteries. Right there we've got a 20-pound propane tank. You do have a propane cooktop and your furnace. But also, I want to point out a couple of the lanyards that are right here. This, again, is part of the S2 RV chassis. You see one on this side, and if I pull them, you probably can't hear that. And then we have two more over here. But what they are is they're air dryers for your airlines in there. And you should do this as part of your pre-check before the trip. Pull your lanyard. If you hear air, everything's good. If you hear it spitting water out, you want to drain that water, especially if you haven't done that in a long time. You might need to pull that lanyard, let it drain until you're out of air, go start up the engine again, and then do it all over. But check those every, at least every other trip. Make sure you're keeping the water out of your airlines. Back here we've got our holding tank. Now your gray and black tanks do have heat tape on the bottom of it, so that makes them more usable in late fall and early spring. Your water tank, the 150 gallons of water, is inside under the bed, so you never have to worry about freeze-ups on that. Here's the other side of that compartment. And then here we've got our water closet. Now, low point drains are right here. Our tank fill, our city fill, our black water tank flush. We do have a monitor panel right here. You can see how much water and how charged your batteries are. Whole house filter. And then, of course, you've got your this is your water fill, which is on a power rewind there. Another thing, check out the double latches and the thickness of this door. I think Renegade builds one of the best compartment doors in the industry. When you shut them, it latches tight. You don't have to slam them. They just really do a good job on those. Okay, here is where we fill our diesel fuel. And again, it's a single 100-gallon tank in the middle of the chassis, right behind the axle. So it gives a better weight distribution. You don't have the two up front where you have to fill them from both sides, basically. We do have an 8,000 watt quiet diesel generator. This will power both of our air conditioners and the microwave. You can see this one's got 1.2 hours on it. Then over here behind it, you do have a little storage area for a sewage hose. And then this is our 50 amp power cord. And it's nice that this is on a power rewind. It's not so bad now putting them away when the weather's warm, but when it's below freezing and these things get really stiff, it's actually pretty tough to put those away. Having this power rewind makes it a lot easier for you. You can also see we've got our transfer switch back there. Renegade does provide you with a nice dog bone of 50 amp to 30 amp. And you have some 110 plugs in there also. Okay, on the back here, one of the things I want to point out, this fiberglass cap is actually in two pieces, but it's a one-piece molded fiberglass cap from here up, and then you have your lights down. The beauty of this, if you should back into a fence or have a little fender bender and damage this one or put some lights out, you're not replacing the whole back cap. You've got this part of it can remain intact, and like I say, just replace the bottom here. You also see we've got a 7-way plug here. This has an integrated brake controller if you're pulling a boat or a trailer with electric brakes on it. 2-inch receiver rated at 12,000 pounds, and typically that's going to be about 1,200 pounds of pin weight. There's the exhaust for our diesel, or for our generator. All LED lights in the back, and I like the fact that they put some of the brake lights and the back lights up high so you can see them over traffic. Then of course we have our backup camera up there. No ladders on these. If you want to get on the roof, you have to get your own ladder and set it up. Okay, let's come on around to the passenger side. First of all, in these first 2 compartments, it's a big open compartment. I like the fact that they've done it that way rather than put the divider in between right here. You can get longer items in here. This happens to be an ottoman for the inside. You've got a little storage in there. And then off to the right, you can see our propane quick connect right here. If you have a grill or barbecue or something you want to bring along, you can hook it into your propane system right there, set out here and cook out under your awning. Okay, as we move down, another large storage compartment here. This is your furnace here. We do have a 32-inch TV outside with a sound bar, and this will pull out and tilt for you. Another storage compartment here. Now this one, you notice you could have a port here to maybe run a power cord. You've got a 110 outlet here, so if you're plugging something in, you don't have to leave your door open. This is an air hose, and I meant to show that to you, but over by the propane compartment, there is a chuck that'll fit this, so you can air up your tires, air up your toys, things like that. And those are just travel bars. They generally are just put in there for safety. They don't engage them when they come from the factory. But if for some reason you're having trouble with your slide or it seems to be leaking out, you can certainly put those travel bars in. And while we're here, let's get a look at the awning. We do have the Girard awning. That is motion censored. Earlier today when I was setting up, I slammed one of my compartment doors too hard and it triggered the motion sensor and it closed the awning for me. Let me go ahead and put my cap down. I like the fact this has a dampening unit on it. There we go. And let's go ahead and step inside and take a look at the interior. Okay, again, as I mentioned, this is the Valencia 38BB. One of the nice features, I'll show you on my phone here, it's got the Vega Touch app. Now, I'm already paired, and the reason I did that is sometimes when you shut it off and go to pair it, it'll take a little longer. I'm going to go right to my slide outs right here, confirm, and I'm going to run these out. But before I did that, I wanted to walk back here just to show you what it's like when you travel, how much room you have. It's not tight here at all. You can get all the way back into the bathroom. We'll show you that in a little bit. Washer dryer here, easy to get into the refrigerator. And this is a residential refrigerator. And now I'm going to go ahead and go to my slide room. And one of the things I really like about this app, if you're outside by yourself and just got to your campsite, maybe you got a tree over here, a rock, a neighbor that's kind of close, you might want to stand outside and watch your slide as it moves out. It's one of the beauties of this Vega Touch app. So I'm going to run both slides out. You can also run pretty much everything that you have right here. your lights, your generator, your climate, your levelers and so forth. You can do that all on your phone or on some other kind of mobile device. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and run the back slide out while we're talking here. Like I say, this is a bunkhouse, and I will open up the bunks for you in a minute. They're kind of closed behind a closet there. But if you get any of the Renegade products, get the Vega Touch. The information's always right here in the kitchen. When you go to the setting, it's going to tell me what my ID is and what my PIN is to put into my phone. Okay, let's talk about the bunk area first. So this does have the overhead sleeper. You can see when you're driving, it's easy to get out of the way, easy to step up and down there. When it is time for bed, there's a couple of pins here if you want to lock that in tight. But this is easy enough to there you go. Convert this to a bunk. Put your ladder in here. You can see you do have a TV right here. Over on the other side, you've got a little storage area with a 110 outlet. We do have a bunk shade that I'm going to close right now. And you can even turn all of your interior lights off and on right here from the bunk. And then when it's time to travel again, it's very easy to get this out of the way. This is designed to kind of just slide up over the other cushion. Push it back. And that's all there is to it. Okay, behind the driver's seat here, we do have a couch, and this one's got a hide-a-bed, so let me show you how this works. You've really got 4 sleeping spots here, and you could double up on all of them. The overhead bunk is actually a queen. This is a queen size. The dinette's a little bit smaller, and then you've got a king size bed. And let me see if I can find that release strap. This one seems to get hidden on you once in a while. Drop my legs down. And you can see why I've got this up. There's 3 seat belts underneath here. There's also a couple of seat belts on the dinette, the forward-facing seat. So you could actually put 5 passengers in seat belts, plus your driver and passenger up front. And there you go. You could take those cushions and put them up kind of as a headboard. But you've got almost a queen-size bed here, and it's really pretty comfortable. You don't need the air mattress. You don't need to worry about blowing that up and deflating it. When it's time to get on the road again, you can see just how easy it goes up. And as you put that down there, keep your straps someplace where you can grab it. And there we go. And another thing about this couch, it's the right size for somebody like me. A lot of times, if your feet don't touch the ground, it's kind of uncomfortable. But this is a comfortable enough couch. I could lay down and fall asleep in front of the TV very easily. Do have cup holders on each side. Speaking of the TV, right here is our main TV. And this does release. Has the sound bar. You can pull it out and make for a better angle for watching TV. And as you come in the front door also, I should have maybe shown these outside. We do have one of our multiplex panel. I believe these are KIB panels. So you can turn all your lights on and off from here, extend and retract your awning. You have your awning lights, your ceiling lights, and then get a shot down here. As you come in the door, your battery disconnects right here, but you also have an entry step override and an e-start, an emergency start there if your batteries are low. So generally you're going to come in, turn your batteries on, reach up here, turn all your lights on. Even in the dead of night, you know, you're not walking into a dark motorhome. Okay, then by the door we've got a little countertop extension there. Solid surface sinks. We've got a deep stainless steel single undermount sink, and I really like the single big sink with the sprayer. If you're doing dishes or something by hand, you can always get a strainer or something to put in here, but I just like having the large open sink. Here is our 3-burner stove. And you've heard me say this before. I prefer to cook over propane. I think it's easier to control your heat. Excuse me. And as you can see here, this is a sealed burner stove. What I mean by that is your insert underneath here comes right up to the burner, so you don't get food there. Now you can still get that off and clean underneath it, but you don't really need to, because you know it's all going to stay right here in this pan. Got a nice grid right there. A lot of times as you're going down the road, if you hear a little rattling, it could be something from there. And overhead here we have a convection microwave. Large enough to get a chicken in there, or you know, a ham or something. If you wanted to bake, you could certainly do cookies in there even easy enough. A large storage area overhead. And then another one here over the sink. And as you can see, you've got your manuals and everything up here. This is the Hamden interior. And one thing about Renegade, as a company, they only make the Super Cs. And they do a great job with their cabinetry. You can see all solid wood cabinetry. There's no wrapped style here. And just a beautiful interior. Down below here we've got a place for your trash can. You know, this here is where I set, you know, my sink covers or my stove cover and when you're using the kitchen. We've got 3 full pull-out drawers here, and these are all soft close. There's your water filter. They do give you a little lube for your slide mechanism. You have touch-up paint for the 3 colors of the outside paint, and like I said, these are all soft close. Under here we've got our breakers and fuses. These are our 12-volt fuses, and then down here we've got 2 banks of the 110 breakers. And then over here they kind of tell you what everything is. It's all nicely labeled. Okay, let's show you the storage over the couch here. And I like these new hinges they put in. They seem to stay very well no matter what angle you have them at. You have a cushion here. That's more of an armrest. You have a couple of cushions for the dinette that'll convert that to a sleeper. I'll show you in a minute. While we're here, point out that we do have, these are the manual day-night shades. And these windows, what do they call them, the jelloies? They open, and it's nice when it's raining because you can still get some airflow in here without getting wet. And then on the end of your slide out here, you actually have a window that lifts and is adjustable there. You've got that on both ends of the slide out. Nice to get a good breeze going across there. Okay, let's take a look at the dinette. First of all, underneath the cushion, we have some storage. And this right here is one of the cushions you put in the on the table here when you make it to the bed. The other one's on the other side. And then when you do go to convert this, there's a lever right here. People ask me a lot about convertible bunks. If you look at this underneath and you see that angled brace, that tells me it converts down to a sleeper. You simply move that lever, and you want to pick your cushions up a little bit so it rests all the way down on the cleat. But you can see how easy it is to put that down. You have the two cushions in your drawers to fill it in. Converts to a bunk big enough for a bed, big enough for two kids certainly, or one adult could sleep here comfortably. And then I also like the cup holders. You got a place for your playing cards up here, USB ports, and the micro mini with a 110 outlet, all right there. Okay, that brings us to the refrigerator. Now this is a residential style refrigerator. It runs off your inverter, and if you're dry camping in the woods, again, you don't need to worry about running your battery down too fast. You've got the big 8D house batteries. These are very efficient. They don't draw all that much power, and you do have the auto gen start. And that's a feature I'll talk about right here. Let's go into our home setting. I'm going to go to power. And you see right here, we're just running off our 12 volt. There's no charge coming in. But if I was to enable my AGS, and once I do that, well, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Once I do that, I can set my parameters. Maybe I want it to come on when the battery hits 12.2 volts. It'll charge up the batteries automatically. Maybe I'm leaving a couple of pets in here while I'm going on a hike, and I want it to come on when it hits 75 degrees inside, have my air conditioners preset to kick on. You do all that right here. So that's why I pointed out, with the diesel generator, with your AGM batteries, you really don't need to worry about running out of power. Although the lithium batteries will last longer on a single charge, you've got the generator with you. You're not going to be without power unless you have a problem. So while we're here, I'll show you a few more of the features. Like say, if you get into your settings, that's where you put in your mobile app. I do have a place. You can see I've got my bathroom fan up, and it's on medium speed right now to kind of cool it down. There's where I set my temperature for my heat or my air conditioner. And then again, all my lights, I can do each room individually, or I can just hit the master on off as I'm going out the door. And that monitors your tanks, your battery levels, everything you need. And like I say, there's 8 or 10 panels around here. Most of them are just lights or fans, but you got a couple of them that have all the controls, plus with the Vega app, any mobile device, you can do all this on also. All right. As we move down, I'll show you one more storage area. This is hooked up to our TV antenna. If you pull into a campground, you can get local TV over the air off that antenna. This does have the stackable washer and dryer. And this dryer is vented to the outside. Unlike the combo units that really don't have a vent and take forever to go through a cycle, these actually are pretty fast. Okay, let's step into the bunk room, show you a couple of unique things here. First of all, I want to talk about this door. This kind of looks like a closet here, or you know, a wardrobe, which it could be very easily. You may not get a great shot, but if you look inside, right here, there are 5 of those little latches right up there. One high, one low on each side, one right in the middle here. And you can see if I was to pull this down, I can actually pull out that frame from the wall. So I can remove all of the doors right here. Maybe you've got young kids sleeping in here and they don't like playing Harry Potter and being locked in a closet, so you want to take this off. And when you do that, you do have curtains on both upper and lower level. And then get a look back here. Both bunks have a monitor in there. So if they want to bring their games or, you know, put in a DVD or something, both bunks have a monitor. There's a TV in the bedroom, TV in the overhead, TV in the living room, and one outside. What's that make for 6 TVs? But never know, if you have 10 people going with you, they all want to watch something different. Underneath here, we do have some more storage drawers. Like I said, all soft close. You do have a pocket door right here too, so if I want to close this room off, very easy. I can actually close it off from both sides and make it a private room in here. Okay, across from the bunks, we get our bathroom, and I'm just going to open the door and the cabinets and step out. You've got a nice radius shower in there. And the interior height on this, by the way, is 84 inches. So 7 feet tall. It does have a little skylight over the shower. So if you are a real tall person, you can still get in there and comfortably take a shower. By the way, the other dimensions on this, we've got a 38 feet 2 inches overall bumper to bumper. It's 8 feet 3 inches wide with 7-foot ceilings. And your wheelbase on this one is 279 inches. And then, like I say, from right here, maybe you've taken this out and you've made it a wardrobe there. You want a little privacy. You do have another pocket door. So you can close the door on both sides and have a private room in here. And while I'm here, I guess I'll show you. I mentioned you could use this as a wardrobe. You can see there's a bar right there. You can remove this closet, but if you're using it as a wardrobe, you might not want to. But the reason you would is to get this bunk out. If you look, this thing completely lifts up in the front and back. So I can take that bunk out altogether, use it for hanging clothes here. And at that point, I guess I'm leaving my closet doors on. All right, moving back into the bedroom. Let's start with the wardrobe area. So on each side of your TV, you get a little shirt closet, and then 3 drawers. Got another 32-inch TV in here. There we go. Over here, you do have a cabinet for video components. Now, this is wired for a satellite, but it doesn't come with the satellite. Streaming services are so popular, or Starlinks, or things like that, so they don't put in DVDs anymore. In fact, this does have a Wi-Fi setup with it. Got a big drawer under the middle section. And again, over here, the same 3 drawers and shirt closet. Under your bed here, this is where your water tank is. And they do provide you with a convenient little pole here. And you can see right here, I've got my water pump, 2 75-gallon freshwater tanks. So it's easy to winterize when you can access everything right here. And you can see this tube is our winterization tube coming into this valve that's got a T. You can put it either way, but you'd put that into your antifreeze, run it through the lines individually. When it comes time to drain it, you've got a nice big main drain right here. And the fact that it's inside, you never have to worry about freeze-ups with the water tank or the plumbing here. And then you do get a good-sized storage area right here. Come on, there we go. You got a lot of storage right up here in the front. Now here beside the bed, you can see you've got a pedestal on each side with the 110 outlet and USB ports. So if you do have a sleep machine or an oxygen machine, you can plug it in either side of the bed. And again, this is open all the way. You've got a 110 outlet there, a lot of storage overhead. You actually have 3 reading lights here, and another one of your multiplex panels where you can turn on and off your lights, turn on and off your generator and stuff. And like I've said before, you can do all of that from your phone now or from your iPad, any mobile device. You can control almost everything in here. All right, one last thing. Let's move back up. I'll get by you here, Nick. Let's go back up to the dash for just a little bit. Now, get a shot of the seats here. You can see they're at different levels. And again, this is the air ride feature I was talking about. I haven't aired up the passenger side, but for the driver here, as you're going down the road, I don't like to have it all the way down. I like to have a little air in it. The adjustment's right there. Yeah. And I think I am out of air. Probably have to turn it on. There we go. There's a little bit more. So as you hit those bumps, it's going to cushion you a little bit more with this this air ride seat. You also have the big air horn. Let all your friends know that you're coming. Where is it? Right here, we've got a lever that release. You can tilt your wheel. Let's go ahead and get the dash on. This is a 6-speed Allison 3000 transmission. You put it into gear right here. They've moved everything pretty much up to the fingertips. You can see as my power comes on, I've got my backup camera on. You can see behind us. Let me get into my camera app. There we go. So this will show you the 3 views. You've got cameras on both sides, and then the one in the back. Nice feature. Also, you've got your navigation on here. You can Bluetooth your phone in. You can actually remove this, and maybe the passenger sit there and, you know, check out the road map for you. A lot of tutorials and so forth on this. And then, like I say, here's where we would put our phone in. Nice Garmin system there with navigation. One of the cool features, well, this here is just a light for your phone. Well, that's kind of nice. But I like having this suspension dump. And what it is, when I hit that, you might not be able to tell, but I'm dumping my rear airbags right now. So when I'm backing up to a trailer and I want to, you know, see how close I am, I can back up, dump my airbags till I'm under the hitch, and then make my final adjustments. When I turn that off, it's going to air back up. So that's another nice feature when you're leveling also. Sometimes you're in a campground that you don't have a very level spot, so you want to get your airbags dumped and have as much travel in your equalizer levelers as you can. And those are right here. You can see with, generally it gives you that little beep, that little warning, maybe one of the levelers is down a little bit. I'll just shut that off. But I can level it all automatically from right here, but I could also do that from my phone when I'm sitting outside. You also have a fast idle switch here. When it's cold in the morning and you want to get it heated up a little bit faster. We've got a switch here for our trailer or our truck camera. This is equipped if you're pulling a stacker trailer, let's say. You can put a camera back there, outside docking lights, And again, your levelers, pretty simple dash. Most of your controls for answering your phone and everything are right here. And then for your, on the left side, you're controlling this part of your dash, gives you your trip information, your speed, your vehicle settings. If you need to get in and adjust any of your lighting, brightness, things like that, that's all done from here on the left side of the steering wheel. Again, your right side, this is going to be for answering your phone and so forth. And then our cruise control is over here on the left with our blinkers. And right here is where we shift, and also it engages our engine brake right here at the column. So the whole idea is to keep your hands forward, keep your eyes forward, keep you focused on the road and not looking around for, you know, your gearbox or your jake brake or things like that. So once again, this is a 2024 Renegade Valencia, brand new bunkhouse that just came in yesterday. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I think they're showing my contact info at the bottom. I'm Mark Love. Call or text me at 970-631-0083. Weather is getting nice here. Come on out and see us. We got plenty of inventory. Like always, friends, happy trails out there. Drive careful when you're on the road, and we'll see you next week.